Hello everyone, how are we doing? Welcome back. We are going to be doing some work on the KX today. So here we have the KX60. I've ordered some parts, so we should start getting it back together. We've got a few parts kicking around. Obviously this is the state the bike is actually in at the minute, as you can see, an absolute mess. But what we're going to do is we're going to strip it completely down. Once we've done that, we can then set to work on repainting everything and getting it looking back to how it should have been back in the 80s. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this stripped down, have a little edit of me taking it apart, and then we'll start fixing some parts and seeing what we can do with this bike. Well, better get the bike over on the stand and take out my new bits from my van and get the stand ready. It's around the wrong way. We'll put that bad boy there. And the bike should do, it's a little bit unbalanced, but should be alright there. As long as it doesn't fall into the Cortina, we'll be good. Yeah, somewhere near there. So first of all, we've got some fuel in this tank that we need to take care of. So we're just gonna disconnect the throttle, the petrol, which I believe has probably been on this whole time. I'm just gonna. Yeah, it hasn't cut off at all, has it? So I'm going to tip all that in there. Should all be clean petrol because I did clean this tank out. Just make sure we get all of it out. That'll help us a lot. Because eventually I need to try and make a repair on this tank. I don't really want to be buying another one. Simple fact is, as you can see here, someone's drilled a hole in it. But I think if I fill it with water just to stop it catching fire, I might be able to do some of that. Plus it looks like it's been painted at some stage, so I'm gonna have to try and get all that off, get it back down to the normal paint somehow. Hopefully without damaging anything, that's the main thing. So we're gonna put that on there. We do have the left hand side casing. Now I was talking about the case being broke the other day, so we actually have this mechanism piece here. The water pump is, well, seized. This is actually supposed to sit on there like so, but that's clearly snapped. Same with this piece, it's meant to sit inside, and what that does is when you use this lever, pushes it back and forth, engages and disengages the clutch, but it's completely smashed. So I've just ordered one of these, hopefully it'll be here soon. I'm hoping that this comes out so I can use this on the new one, because this piece here isn't in the best condition on the other case, you see. So hopefully we can salvage that piece out of there somehow. I think maybe if we take this O-ring off here, it may just slide out. But we can always play around with this case and try and get it out, because this one's knackered. So that's that. You've got parts all to go in here and start taking it all apart. So where are we going to start with this? May start with taking the engine out. I've got to be careful obviously because of my finger. The exhaust is held on by a spring this side. That's all that's holding it on at the moment. So I'm just going to try and pull the spring down. Probably do the bike being over a little bit more. At an angle like so. We'll come this side. See this spring. Not really. Yeah. Pushing the exhaust in and put a screwdriver in between, prise the spring out, make sure we remove the spring from the engine so we don't lose it. I'm just going to wiggle the exhaust loose, and that is the exhaust off. Like I say, it had some bits not all in on it, so now we're going to put that up there. I'm going to put this spring in our box, like so. Now I do know the engine is only held in loosely at the moment because I've had it out. So if we slide that bolt out of there, there's a nut on the side of this one, which is finger tight. I should be able to get it off. So that's one. If I slide that bolt through by pushing it, get my fingers on the other side, got that one out. Always put the nuts back on the bolts, and there should be another one just here, and you guys can see it's just there. Just going to undo that. This one's slightly tighter. Ease it out. So that's now out. Another thing we need to do is we need to take, is that tight? Makeshift throttle just to get it to run the other day. Do need to take that out. Should have took these off first, really. Slide them out like so. Tuck this there. I need to take the plug out, and then we just need to disconnect these wires like that. Deattach those, and that should be everything off the engine. The engine should, in theory, plump out just like so. So that is off. The engine is out. And what I'm going to do for safekeeping, I'm going to try and take this carburetor top out, the barrel, piston, the washers just fell on the floor over there. Just going to slide them out. I'm going to slide that washer back in there. I'm going to push a spring, that back onto there. There is the engine out of this little bad boy. Only a little engine, bit of weight to it, not too bad. Not too bad at all. We have going to put some new gaskets on there, clean it all up, make sure everything's spot on. Know the piston, that's all good. Clutch all looks good. So we need this casing on to double check everything and go through it. But everything does look good and it does run, so that's the main thing. Obviously we've still got like the frame of the bike, which we are going to have to go through and check everything over, make sure everything's good. So next steps, I think I may get this radiator off because it's quite a fragile object. My little box of goodies up here should see me through nicely. Just got to be careful it doesn't fall on my Cortina, because we do not want that. Not after the incident we had the other day. My mate dropped his big KX on it and completely and utterly destroyed the door. So I'm just going to whip these out. Just like that. Comes out quite nicely. Great, it's just what we want. So that come out, they've actually got washers on, so these actually ain't in too bad a nick for the age of the bike, but I wonder if so I will say, just to save things getting lost, I'm going to put all the nuts and bolts back where they belong. So this is the first time using the actual GoPro on the head, so I don't actually know what the camera footage is going to be like. I'm hoping it's good, because like I said, we are stripping the bike virtually down. I think it's at the right angle. So now we've got some sockets. I'm just going to put this. Well, there was a little bit of dirt in that tank still. But it didn't have a lid on when it came, so it's going to have a bit of dirt on it. Slide the lid back on there, put that up there. I think I'm going to be looking for about a 13 mil. Sorry, what was that? 10, might be a 10 actually. Can't remember. Can't remember. Yes, a 10. 10, yes. And we just lost a washer from somewhere. Let's take this bolt out. Looks like it's had a washer put on this at some stage. I would have thought that washer was possibly off there. By looking at that, it's a little bit rusty, and that washer is rusty as well. So looks like they've had a bit of a hard life at some stage, but it works, it does its job, so we're not going to replace it. Like I say, we've got to keep costs down. I'm not made of money. So that's in there. It's just trying to maintain an old bike, get it back up and running and going, and possibly get rid of it. We'll see. It's one of those things where you just take it as it comes and see where it goes. Might end up keeping it and just having it as a toy, we never know. So just removing the coil pack here, and put those bolts in that box over there. And here we have some wires. Not sure how that's, I think that's held on by a 10 the other side. And be careful with the wires. I'm going to remove these rubbers before they actually get lost. They're going in my goodie box. And I've got another 10 in this side on the CDI, which we are now removing. That out, and we can unplug this wire here, which is quite tough. That's off. That can go in the box along with the coil in the box as well. Let's getting the frame stripped down a bit now. Did notice the headstock bearings are a little bit playish, but it's understandable. An old bike. My first bike was an old GP100. Been cut about into a crosser, but it done what it needed to do, and that was my first geared bike. I had a pit bike, and then I had a KX 125, which was bored out, and that was a beautiful bike. Missed that whole thing. I need to get another KMX. Maybe I could use the profits of this to get myself a KMX. That would be cool. So I'm going to remove that bolt from there. That should drop that whole swing arm. So we might do, or benefit by taking these screws out, removing this panel. So we're going to want some cutters and a Phillips screwdriver. It's a little bit cautious on the way that bike's moving around, but you have to be. This one there, and some cutters, which I think cutters are already out, aren't they? Aren't they, Josh? They might actually be in my van still. They may be. Nope, they are. They're just here. Don't smoke, people. It's bad for you. Wish I never started, because now I can't stop. So there we go. That's that removed. I'll just remove these screws. Probably all thinking, Josh, do you know where all these screws are going to go? We'll find out when we put it back together, won't we? What was this one for? I need to watch that video back. But we should be alright. So I'm just going to remove this other screw here. There we go, put that in there. This cover may come off now. How the hell this rubber still stayed intact over all these years is beyond me, and it hasn't gone brittle. It's just come apart quite nicely. Let's hope the same this end. Remove those ones in there. I could break this bike and make quite a bit of money on it, but I like getting things running and going again. So these are loose. I'm going to leave them dangling for the moment until we remove this out of the bike, and that might give us a bit more room. So I believe that is going to be a 17mm bolt. It is. Just need a 17mm spanner for the other side there. Which I'm just going to put on. And I'm just going to release all of this. And hopefully that should slide out nicely. No, it's not. It's not playing ball. I'm going to get the mallet. I'm going to try and keep the noise down. We don't want to be upsetting the neighbours now. Knock it out. Hit in the centre of the bolt if we can. That's not coming out. It's starting to make me wonder if there's a thread on this. So unless you do this, it may not come out. Well, we'll soon see. It doesn't look like it's playing ball. So I'm going to try and find the loosest spot on this bolt. So there's a little bit of tension. It's gone loose a little bit there. So we'll now try and give it a tap where it is now. It may come loose. Need to try and protect these threads until sort them out if it didn't go as planned, which it isn't. So we're going to move on to the next area. We'll come back to that in a moment. We'll try and get the swing arm off so we don't break anything. So we remove those bolts in there, which definitely isn't a 17. It's going to be looking on the side of a 14 or a 13. So we'll grab one of each, same as coming back up to the bench. I'm hoping it's a 14, which I said first. That was a 13. It is. Josh is right. So I'm just going to remove these. That's 14, yep. So, here we go. It is undoing. Not too bad at all. That is that out. Now we'll slide this nut out of here. Oh, what was that? Hopefully it wasn't the bearings. It looks like it was just some washers. Oh, the bearings don't look too... Oh no, they're alright. It's actually alright. Quite proud about that. It's actually okay. So we can now slide, once we ping that out, the swing arm off. The swing arm's off. We've got the plastic out without damaging it. That's all good. So we've still got this piece still on here. I'm just going to grab these so we don't lose these parts. Looks like there was a washer here as well. I believe is off this. So you see if it goes through the hole. Yep. Just going to put the nut back on there. And in the little pot. So we do have a couple of chain guards. That one looks a little bit worse for wear. I don't know if that's even the right one. Doesn't look like it. It's not a show bike though. It's an off-road bike. They haven't got to be 100% spot on. Just need the 14 on this side. And then just undo that. So, and then that'll get the rear shock off as well, hopefully. We can get that bolt through. Maybe it's just got old and rusted in or something. But we'll soon find out, I'm sure. So let's now move that whole assembly. Where is the nut? There the nut be. We'll put that back on there. Not quite sure on how good this shock is, to be honest. Probably not the best. A little bit of play, but nothing too major going on there. Looks like we've got a bit of movement in this bolt now, so maybe we'll be able to give it a tap. Alright, so we're going to put the nut back on the end. And give the... We've got movement, that's what we want. We've got movement. There we go, we've got movement. That's what we wanted. Not quite enough to get it to move out though. It's a bit strange. I'm no expert with these bikes, and not my era. Probably born when this bike was made, to be honest. It looks like we've got it to move though. Not enough, it seems. I'll put this back in here. Hold the bike steady. Okay. I believe my chisel's gone all the way through, which isn't what I wanted. Let's put a screwdriver in, poke it back through. You can then remove that. It's out. So that's the rear shock off too. Make sure you get your nut and bolt. Not much holding this bike on anymore. We're going to put the nut back on the bolt. So we've got the foot pegs still onto the back, we've got the chain guides, we can leave them on for the minute. Let's now focus on the front end here. It's got some screws, cable to the front brake, a little bit of wiring that doesn't actually work, so I'm not too worried by that. We have a clutch cable here. We can try and poke that through and pull it out. Looks like someone's been quite happy with their cable ties on this bike. So I'm just going to move around, flip that cable tie, and the clutch cable's free, and that clutch cable doesn't look too bad. Just going to check it over. Looks like it's been against the exhaust, but it hasn't gone through, which is good. It moves nice and free, so we're good for a clutch cable. So right, I do know this is my one off my bike. That's my throttle from my pit bike, which we use just so we can get it running. I'm going to loosen that off, slip that off, and then that can go back into... Actually, I'll leave it there because I need to put the rest of the gubbins back together with that. So now we're going to take these screws out of here. Going to need a big screwdriver. I was not quite up to the job. It's a very old set of tools I have here, but they get it done. So this one looks a little bit better. Hold it nice and tight. There you go. See, with the correct fitment screwdriver, it sits in the head of the bolt properly. Now I need to move it out here and slide it through, or probably better just disconnecting the brake. It's going to come off anyway, so that's going to be the better option. This is the old throttle cable, as you can see. It's seen better days. It's got an outer case, but it's frayed, and to be honest, I think it's on the verge of snapping. Still got the casing on here though. Looks like someone may have broke that inside of there, but we'll see if we can fix that before putting it in the bin. Brake may prove a little bit difficult. Just going to grab an 8mm. Just going to loosen that off. Move it up so we've got a better view. a lot easier to hold as well. I'm just going to try loosen this off. Open. I think I may as well go. Let's see if we can slacken it off down here. We can, so we're going to get a 10mm spanner. Grab your 10mm, just loosen this bolt here. That's the plan at least. Can't quite get the pressure. Right, there we go. So that's now slid out. Now what you do, slide this bottom nut all the way down. It looks like the forks may be leaking slightly on this side. Probably had a hard life. We haven't got a 10 out, we're just going to use the spanner. So I'm lazy. No, I'm probably going to end up getting a socket anyway. Right, looks like it's free. So, back to what we was doing. Camera decided to switch itself off. So we've now got this completely loose. Just going to slot that through there. Hopefully that should slot through if we take the screw out possibly. See if we can do it with the screw in. So it's another piece of plastic we've got off, which looks like it's been painted over the years and it's shocking. So that's another plastic off. We can now release this 8mm bolt off of here. It should allow us to slide that off. And there we have it. That's the brake completely off. So I'm just going to lay them up there for now. It's quite a large item. That leaves us with this really dodgy wiring. So I'm just going to cut this cable tie completely off. It's gone. And looks like this one's held on screws. So we've got some dodgy old handle grips here. Don't quite know how these come off, never seen these really. But this is completely shot, so we'll just cut it off for the time being. Just lifted my dog up and took him inside and it's covered me in hair. So they're really old and had it. Floor ready for the bin. Should be able to just slide this all the way off. No, we can't, obviously. Just had that problem because of this grip thing here. So undo those screws. That's 1 and 2. So that's the kill switch. I can go in the box of goodies. Then we just need to take the clutch lever off. Which all need a blimmin' good harm clean up. So you have to release it, come off. Hopefully that's someone hasn't had it off and put it the wrong way. Not that these should have a wrong way, but it's always good to know you put everything back how you get them off. They were working. And there we have it. So that's that. That can go in there. So now we haven't got much left. We've got some handlebars. And I don't know if these look bent at all. I'd say they are pretty straight. So obviously we're going to remove these. These can come off. I'm actually going to remove that first of all though. For safekeeping. So when we clean these handlebars up, but they're just going to get in the way if not. Can't just pull out surely. Not a clue. Let's see if we can slide this over. I don't think it will. Loosen this one off. That one's off. That looks slightly bent, but not an issue. Let's see if I can get some grips on and get that off, because I'm probably not going to put it back on, to be honest. And beefy grips here, these probably are too big. They're not going to work. Ow, my finger. Hit that in, does it go in and stay in? It does seem that way. Seems that it's welding like a nut. Oh really? There's a frickin' Allen key in there. Wish I'd known that a lot sooner. Ah dear. Never mind. It's the way you learn though, isn't it? It's the wrong Allen key. Josh, this isn't you. Why are you working in a mess? Another casing to go in there before it gets lost. So you must hammer something in here to get it off in the first place, I would have thought. Interesting. I'll just lay that over and have a look. A lot of water just like come out of there. I will keep this though. It could do with going on my bike because I've quite chipped away one end. But we'll see. See, yeah, it's got something, some sort hammered in there, which can stay in there for now. Because all I really want off is that. That's right there. And it goes on there like so. So you always put, if you can, unless you're taking frames apart, you don't want them in the frame because you want to clean it. Try and put them back to where they come from. That prevents them getting lost. So my stickiness is not sticking. So we have a bit of wiring on the floor here. I believe though this is for the kill switch, which probably won't need, but keep everything until you know for sure and it isn't running. So 12? 12 or something? It's not a 10. It's an 11 or a 12. We'll try an 11 first. It's an 11 and it is at 12. So strange when you have like a 13mm bolt and then the next one's a friggin' 12s. Looks like something's gone on there because it's got washers on there. Okay, it's got a 13mm in there as well. So I've lost a bolt over time. I'm up there for the second. Don't know why I do that. Is that the 13 that's just dropped that I need? Possibly it is. None of these were that tight. So, that's that all off. Remove the handlebars, like so. They need a blooming good clean up. Don't know what colour they're supposed to be. And then we'll put these back on. So they don't get lost. Just drop in it. Grab that in just a second. That is off, he says. going to put those back in there. So now we're at a stage where these forks can now come off and we can work with the forks off the bike. Some peeling on some stickers. So I'm guessing that's around a 30, but I'm going to go with a 27 because it does look slightly smaller. So that's a 27, so maybe we might get away with a 28 spanner on this one. No, it is a 30. Shoot a 30. I do actually have a 30 socket already in because we've recently done some headstock bearings. Let's loosen these off. I'm hoping these headstock bearings are actually okay. Let's hope, we can only hope. So that goes like that, that goes like that. Right, so we do need to loosen these off. I'm guessing 12, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like someone's put some 13s in there at some stage. Loosen them off nice and gently. No, I'm just going to tap them with a mallet actually. Make sure you hold them. They're not looking too bad at nick, to be honest. Had some work done there, unless that's factory, but I couldn't imagine that being factory. So they've been tapped maybe. Could be factory. You do never know. Looks like, yeah, something's been going on there. It's been grinding against something. So put those up there for the moment. Right. Now I need to sort these headstocks out. That's plastic. Nub style bikes have them metal. So use this one on here. So I don't have a special key. I don't know if you require a special key, but we're a redneck round here. Looks like someone has actually rebuilt this before because it looks like the frame's actually been painted. We'll clean all this up before we put it back together. It's the washer, or is that part of the bearings? That was once part of the bearings. Maybe Josh shouldn't have removed that. Oopsie. May be able to fix this. May be able to fix it. May be able to fix it. Possibly a ball met bearing missing from there. They do look. They had it. The bottom ones have actually just fallen out. Balls. I was hoping they were alright. But as you can see, they're not, because the bottom one's just completely collapsed. So that is the frame virtually completely apart. And these are the headstock bearings. They've just fallen all over the floor. And it should come up off of there. I've had some grease on there for a long time. Careful Josh, don't want to be scuffing that mudguard up. Even though it's painted anyway. See if we can prise this off. It's coming. says. Yes, I believe these are supposed to be a concealed unit. They look pretty mangled. That's actually grease gone hard by the looks of that. Yeah, that's like many years old grease there. They're shot, completely shot. Where do we go from here? Should we take these off here? I believe that's a 14. Then we can take the mudguard off. They're loose. I don't know how loose. Not enough to pull off with my hands. If we can just give them some gentle taps. So, with a bit of ease, we finally got it off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to remove this mud guard, which is held on by all sorts of screws by the looks of that. The 10 and the ratchet. Remove them. And that'll be some years old. We've got a random 8mm in there as well, which we do need to remove. So we just remove that bad boy. That is now off. I am going to put these screws back in here because then I know they're with this. One main thing done nearly. So yeah, there might be some actual washers that might fall off. But I've got some new ones I'll probably end up putting on. Well, that's the mud guard off as well. Which can go in there. So now we can take that apart. But first of all, I want to get these bearings and stuff picked up off the floor, just in case we can reuse them. I highly doubt it, but there is a possibility. I'm pretty sure they're completely mangled. Completely mangled. So what we're going to do is we've got a little box here. We'll put all Headstock stuff within this box. So, there's a lot of bearings on the floor. Show you like that. Now. Oh, I have that hang on there. And put somewhere. There's a license as well. This is nice. Probably easiest way to put there, that's not good. Right, so let's see. What's actually cracking this? See of some sort? It's pressing the frame. You know, it's on the top. So it's on the machine there. So now we have all the parts off, just put them back roughly where they should go. Just going to place those there. I've got most of the bits out of the way. Next step is to pour these forks completely apart. So we're going to get these up on the bench. We've got a good work area, not damaging them. Right size spanner, 14. Don't really want my tools going everywhere though. Oh, that's tight. Spinning on the other side. Just completely slide them out. Hopefully the brakes are still kind of alright. Just one fork off. Try and leave the brakes assembled. So there we have the forks apart. Doesn't look too bad, look like they may have been greased up fairly recently. I am going to label this one though. I don't want to get them mixed up. So if we can try and get some tape off. Just want it enough to get a which is duct tape. Get some sort of label going on there. Where I can just put front wheel, and that can go in our parts bin. We'll clean that up shortly. Looks like that seal is completely shut. Obviously, this one is actually okay. Doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is what we like. We have this wheel, which is probably shot, but could get away with it. Like I say, we're not spending a fortune on this boat. We're trying to just get it together and get it going. Well, bearing seems nice and tight that side. And that side. I don't think there's any other spaces apart from the one that I've just found, which what we will do, we will slide it on. In the parts bin it goes. Probably had people trying to get hold of me, but my phone is flat. So that's the wheel. Front brakes look pretty damn good, doing their job. We'll put that back in the old parts bin as well. So that's the front wheel off. We'll sort the tyre out another day when we clean everything up. We'll put that into the parts bin. Front forks can go just there for now. And now we can move on to the rear wheel and get all this removed. Quite a hefty lump here. The one-handed warrior. So someone's had some grips on there at some stage. The bearings seem tight, which is alright. A little bit warm, but what can you expect on an old bike? We're not buying a blimmin' brand new bike, are we? So got to expect the wear and tear. So for starters, if we can get this bolt out, that'll lose a lot of weight. So we're going to put spacers on each side. I'm not sure if that's another spacer in there or not. I'm just going to get rid of this swing arm out of the way. And this rear brake assembly, which brakes look good on that as well. I'm very surprised at this bike, apart from the odd bit where it hasn't been looked after. Ooh. Looks like that is cracked. We have to make oh yeah, that's not too good. We may have to try and do something with that, maybe a bit of chemical metal or something, enough to get it to work. Loose spoke there. That's that back wheel off. Doesn't look too bad, bar that little you know, thingy bit on the side there. Washer in there, spacer, that and that. It's pretty obvious this one's going to be the rear wheel. It's got the spacers on for the tension in the chain. And this looks like it's had a bit of a hard life. I'm actually going to leave that whole assembly as it is. Make sure them ones work. Works fine. So that can go in the parts box as it is. It looks like we're nearly there. I nearly got the whole bike tore down in about an hour by the engine. Something dodgy going on there. Why has it got a bloody great washer in between it? Is this the wrong assembly in here maybe? There's a possibility. Just do really find this chain link. Take this chain off. Please don't tell me this chain hasn't got a link in it. It's a possibility, I have known it. Maybe it's this side. There's actually a bike we had in here, like, yeah, it's got a chain link. We had a bike in here the other day, my mate's one, and it didn't have a chain link and it was an absolute bugger to work on. Looks like this chain link's half off. Quite simple to remove. And what I do, just to prevent losing it, I actually stick it all back on. Like so. Slide that over. A little bit tricky sometimes. Just need to get it in the flower. It could be putting it in the vise, to be honest. Sometimes this is just such an easy way of doing things. It's probably not the right way, but it does the job. You can get the chain to cooperate. No, it did not work. There we go, it's on. That can also go in the box. Bits, the magical box of bits. So looks like this has been butchered about at some stage in its life. It may be worth taking a look at this assembly and seeing if this is actually the right one for the bike. But I think I'm actually going to leave that for today until we work on that section of the bike. I think it can stay how it is. So we're going to tuck that in there out of the way. Got the forks and stuff down there. Wheel there. We've got a shop we can have a look at, see what sort of condition it's in. Bump stop is completely shot, which I'm not surprised at all the year of the bike. And what spring impression it's got. I'm not really going to tell until I get it on the bike again, am I? Let's face it, but they'll free move, which is good. Looks like this spring may have been painted at some stage, silver. To me that looks purple and gold. Maybe do soaking in some petrol and cleaning up. But there we have it, people. That's how fairly quick it is to strip down a frame. We're just going to start cleaning up and ordering bits to get everything sorted now. But it hasn't gone too bad. It's gone a lot better than I thought it was going to. I can't complain at that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Hopefully soon we can get some more videos with getting it back together and sorting bits out, getting it riding and going again.